While it's a common belief that animals can't communicate like humans, there are remarkable exceptions that challenge this notion. Some extraordinary cases in history include a gorilla adept in sign language, a parrot capable of engaging in dialogues and even giving interviews, and a crow that can mimic human speech. These instances of animal communication are not just fascinating but truly awe-inspiring. In this video, we will explore these unique talking animals that are sure to leave you amazed. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Alex. Einstein, a parrot, shares similarities in behavior with another great parrot named Alex. Although Alex has been dead for over 15 years, he made a significant impact during his lifetime. Alex was specially trained and coached to speak, understand commands, and orient himself in space. All of this was made possible by his owner, Iron Pepperbird, an animal psychologist at the University of Arizona. Iron did an exceptional job, and Alex's intellectual development reached the level of a 5-year-old child. At the time of his death, Alex could distinguish over 50 objects and had a vocabulary of 100 words. Unfortunately, Alex died unexpectedly at a young age for a parrot. However, before his passing, he had the chance to say goodbye to Irene and express his love for her by saying, "You be good." Einstein. Now let's move on to talkers. When we think of animals that can talk, first of all, we think of parrots, and there's no wonder. Everyone knows that even the most ordinary parrots can learn a few words and delight their owners. But not all parrots can keep full-fledged dialogues and instantly answer people like Einstein does. Not without reason, he was named after the great genius. He has an extensive vocabulary. The gray parrot knows more than 200 words, 70 of which he speaks on command. He doesn't hesitate for a second and answers very quickly, which amazes me. See for yourself. I'm watching you. Okay. In addition to this, Einstein is a talented impersonator. His ability to imitate sounds is phenomenal. Can you do a red wolf? How about an owl? The pretty songbirds? How about a rooster? The feathered creature can imitate a bunch of different sounds. From the singing of many birds to dog barking and water bubbling. Perhaps only one creature on the planet has gone further in terms of impersonation, but I'll tell you about it later. Einstein is not only an excellent English speaker, he also speaks a little Italian, a polyglot parrot. How you like that? Among other things, he loves to dance and sing. No wonder Einstein is a real star. Invited to conferences and various shows, the feathered one amazes any audience with his abilities. Koko. Let's start with one of the most amazing animals of all time, the gorilla named Koko. She was a famous female gorilla who could talk. Unfortunately, Koko didn't develop the vocal apparatus, but she hardly had any equals among animals in sign language. With the help of a specialist named Francine Patterson, the gorilla has mastered more than 1,000 American Sign Language gestures, and Koko didn't just mindlessly wave her huge limbs. Her gestures always made sense, and sometimes Koko even joked. Moreover, she could hold a real dialogue, as she understood about 2,000 English words by ear, and in terms of meaning, that's an incredible amount. Even many non-English speaking people don't know that many words in English. The gorilla's IQ was about 95, which is also phenomenal in the animal world. The gorilla had full-fledged dialogues and sometimes had monologues. In one of them, she stated that humans are stupid, that they spoil the planet, and called for saving Earth and taking care of nature as soon as possible. Koko, in general, was a lot like human beings. For example, she was no stranger to fashion. The gorilla could try on some sunglasses, and she also had her own pets. She was very fond of kittens, to which she even gave names. No wonder Koko became world famous. So much so that superstars visited her. For example, famous actor and comedian Robin Williams did it. Koko showed the world that animals can be very smart and amazing and went down in history forever. Unfortunately, she's not been with us now for several years. In 2018, the unique gorilla passed away. Hoover. I have an unusual question for you. Have you ever wondered what a seal's speech might sound like? Some people might imagine it as soft and gentle, because seals are generally friendly creatures. However, it's important to remember that they are also large sea predators, so their voices might have deeper intonations. This is perfectly demonstrated by Hoover, a male harbor seal who had an amazing voice. Hoover was a special seal. In fact, he was the first non-human animal in the world that could talk. His speech was coarse, harsh, and grumpy. At least that's how it seemed to me. You can listen for yourself. Hey, hey, get out, get out, get out, get out. Although Hoover knew how to say hello, he would often chase people away by saying, get out. He also greeted some visitors by saying, how do you do? Interestingly, even though Hoover lived in the United States, his accent was distinctly British and even better than that of many Englishmen. Hoover was the main star of the New England Aquarium in Boston, where he lived and attracted a lot of attention. Sadly, the grumpy seal passed away in 1985. Although he had offspring, none of his babies learned to talk as well as Hoover did. In fact, scientists noted that Hoover talked better than parrots. Carlusha. Crows are very smart birds. Many have no idea how incredible their abilities are. Some of them can even talk, but I think Carl, also known as Carlusha, does it best. Just listen to him talk. How do you like it? With such excellent diction and intonation, this crow should work as an announcer on the radio or in the news. I mean it. He has an incredible articulation, and the voice is barely distinguishable from an ordinary human one. Carluccio's owner, Anna, says that the crow learned to speak very early and very quickly. He often calls her by her name, imitates the different voices of his human friends, calling them by their names as well, and communicates on various topics to make sure no one forgets how unique and cool Carlusha is. He regularly praises himself so that others will praise him too. Carlusha is good as his catchphrase. Well, the funniest thing about this awesome feathered creature is his ha. It seems as if Carlusha is constantly asking something again, and it makes it seem as if he's having a perfectly normal human dialogue, and his laugh is cool too, undeniably. Kosik. Elephants are known for their intelligence. They have an exceptional memory, can draw, understand a lot, and some can even speak. For instance, Kosik, a male Indian elephant from a Korean zoo, knows several Korean words and can imitate the intonation and voices of his handlers. Kosik uses a special method to speak. He presses the tip of his trunk to his lips or puts it in his mouth to imitate human speech. It's believed that Kosik has learned to pronounce human words as he has spent his entire adult life with humans. However, it's unclear whether Kosik understands what he says. Additionally, his vocabulary is limited to fewer than 10 words, but even this is impressive. Most animals don't know any human words at all. Knock. Surprisingly, not only land animals or birds can talk, but also sea creatures. At least in history, there was a beluga whale named Knock who was characterized by the ability to produce some sounds. The beluga was caught as a baby in 1977, and eventually, he learned quite early to imitate the speech of his handlers and other people. When Knock grew up and reached puberty, he lost the ability to speak, but people managed to record his chatter. Listen for yourself. Yeah, it doesn't sound like clear speech. It sounds more like the beluga whale fooling around or humming some kind of song. Nevertheless, scientists have concluded that this beluga whale's sounds are more similar in structure to human speech than to the sound signals that cetaceans use to communicate with each other. As for the strange sound in Knock's voice, it's not surprising. Unlike humans, whales use their noses rather than their vocal cords to produce sounds, which is why Knock's sound is so unique. Lyrebird. And finally, let's take a closer look at these amazing birds. Lyrebirds are superior to all the animals I've told you about today in many ways. Although they may not be as proficient in human speech and only know a few words, they can imitate any sound. You can listen for yourself to hear how these Australian birds imitate human speech and baby cries, as well as the singing of many different birds. If there was only one lyrebird in a forest and you were walking through that forest, you would never guess that there was only one bird in the forest. The lyrebird would mimic all the inhabitants of the forest, and they can even imitate other sounds, such as the sound of a construction site, a drill, or a chainsaw. Whatever a Lyrebird imitates, it comes out very naturally. They can even play sci-fi and imitate the R2-D2 droid from Star Wars or shoot imaginary enemies with a laser. Lyrebirds are truly amazing impersonators and imitators, which simply shock with their natural talent. That's all for now. Would you like all the animals to be able to talk? What would you then talk to your pet about? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.